All of us, at some point in our lives, have looked up at the sky and asked this simple, yet very deep question: where are you? It's a question that spans across ages, cultures, and beliefs. Why does God, who we are told is so present, so loving, sometimes seem so far away, so silent? This feeling of distance, this sense of being left alone, can be one of the most confusing challenges for someone who believes. We pray, we search, we hope for a sign, an answer, a simple feeling of His presence. But sometimes all we get back is silence. A silence that can be deafening, that can feed doubt and loneliness. This experience is not a sign of a lack of faith, quite the opposite. To truly understand the depth of Job's cry, we need to remember his story. The book named after him tells us he was a righteous man, a man of integrity who feared God. He lived a prosperous life surrounded by his family, his possessions, and respected by all. His faith was strong, his life was a model of godliness. But in a short time, his world fell apart. He lost his wealth, his servants, and all his children. Then sickness attacked his own body, covering him with painful sores. There he was, alone, sitting on a pile of ashes, stripped of everything that made up his life, his joy and his pride. An absolute tragedy and seemingly completely unfair. What makes Job's ordeal even more unbearable is the misunderstanding surrounding it. His friends came to see him, not to comfort him, but to try and explain his suffering. According to their simple and rigid logic, if Job was suffering, he must have done something wrong. But Job in his heart knew he had done nothing to deserve such punishment. So he found himself alone, not only facing his pain, but also facing an image of God he didn't recognize. A God who kept accounts, a vengeful God who didn't match the just and good God he had always served. In this famous chapter 23, Job's words are full of great tiredness and a strong will. He says, "Oh, if only I knew where to find him, if only I could reach his throne." You can feel in this sentence all the sadness of a man who searches everywhere but finds nothing. He looks to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south, but God remains hard to find. He describes a God who acts, but in a way that can't be seen. He passes by on my left, I don't see him. He hides on my right, I don't catch sight of him. This experience is very unsettling. Job feels that God is at work, but he can't see him, feel him, or understand him. This search is marked by a deep mix of feelings. On one hand, Job is scared to meet this all-powerful God whose rules seem so terrible. On the other hand, this meeting is his only hope, the only thing that could save him from meaninglessness. He wants to state his case, to show his arguments, sure of his innocence. He has incredible trust in God's final fairness, but he can't get to this divine court. His feelings go back and forth between huge doubt, where is God, and strong faith, I know he is fair. He is a broken man who keeps believing in the rightness of the one who broke him. This search almost becomes more important than the answer itself. By searching for God so hard, he enters a new level of faith. In the middle of his crying out and his desperate search, Job says something incredibly powerful. But he knows the way that I have taken. When he has tested me, I shall come out as pure as gold. It's like a flash of light in the darkest night. Even though he doesn't understand, even though God is silent, he doesn't know where God is, but he knows that God knows where he is. The search is no longer just a person looking for God, but a recognition that the person is seen by God. This idea of gold is beautiful, really. Raw gold, to show all its purity and value, must go through fire. The fire of the furnace is a strong process seeming to destroy, that burns away all the bad parts, all the waste, leaving only the precious metal. Job begins to see that his tough time, as bad as it is, might not be a punishment, but a way to become pure. This is a new idea that goes beyond the idea of getting what you deserve. Suffering is no longer proof of wrongdoing, but a path to change. The story of Job, even though it's thousands of years old, feels surprisingly new and relevant today. Who hasn't felt like the ground was crumbling beneath their feet at some point? It could be getting news about a serious illness. This can throw us into a world of uncertainty and fear. Or it could be losing a job. This can shake up our financial security. It can even shake up who we think we are. Think about the pain of a breakup. Think about losing someone you love. These are our personal deserts, our dark nights of the soul. It's exactly in these moments that Job 23 becomes a source of hope. It gives us permission to be real. It gives us the right to cry out our confusion, It gives us the right to cry out our pain. It gives us the right to cry out our feeling of being left alone. The first step to get through the desert is to accept that we are in it. It's about knowing we're thirsty. In this honesty, a new, deeper search can begin. We look for God not so He'll fix our problems, but for His simple presence right in the middle of our troubles. And that's where the mystery lies, by holding on to that tiny flame of trust. Just like Job held onto the idea that he would come out pure like gold. We find a hidden strength within ourselves. Hope is in realizing that we can get through it, learning to find Him not despite the quiet, but right in the heart of the quiet.